I thought that it could be good, but I'd look at its stats and like, okay, nothing above 90, I don't
Yeah.
think. And I think you really probably have to start looking at the move pool before you realize that there's something
Yeah.
wild going on here.
Welcome to the video. My name is Mark. This is my older brother, Eric.
Hey guys.
And we've been playing Pokemon for a long time. We've been doing the competitive Pokemon thing for, what, like 20 years? Maybe even a little bit longer in terms of our in house tournaments that we had amongst our friends. It's kind of blown up. It's gone in waves of people being interested, going to Worlds, doing the regionals thing, people being less interested. But nowadays we still have around like 20 people that are playing the game together. We're finishing up a VGC draft league. We figured why not try to make some content about the game that we love so much and so many people love. So this is kind of our first video. What we're going to be doing today is talking over a team that I've been working on. My brother and I feel like we would both agree that we're both good team builders, maybe better team builders than players. And something that we've always loved doing is looking at Pokemon that are maybe less commonly seen and try to work with them and see, how can they be used in a good way. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that um, the reason we love VGC so much is because you can take these Pokemon and kind of put a spotlight on them in the right conditions, and it's a place for combos to happen, and it's a place for strange sets to happen. And uh, we got to draft VGC this year for the first time, and I feel like it kind of pushed us back into competitive doubles play and finding those weird unheralded Pokemon like Thievul.
Yeah, like Thievul. And I feel like Draft does a good job of forcing you to, find the gold amongst
Yeah,
the trash.
yeah, or forge it if you don't have it in Pokemon, like force them to become something
Yeah.
because it's all you have.
Yeah, yeah. And so I ended up drafting Thievul. Um, and, I won't go through my whole draft team, but I'll put it up or something. And I had Rillaboom as a great terrain setter, and I ended up just drafting Thievul because he does have Unburden. And I know that Thievul is a Pokemon that a lot of people wanted to like when they saw the art, when they knew about Nickit, and saw in Sword and Shield that we were going to have a cool fox Pokemon. Everybody was really hyped for him. And then the stats came out, and we saw that, yeah, it has nothing above 90, as you said, and it has, like 50s in attack and defense. It's very frail. It doesn't have a great offensive move pool. It has Fire Fang and Thunder Fang on the physical spectrum, but in terms of special moves, it only has Burning Jealousy, Dark Pulse if you want high offense, and Mud Shot, which, especially in singles, like you're not going to be making a big splash with this thing. But the more that I looked at Thievul after seeing Unburdened, the more that it's like very cool support and support offensive move pool came out, especially in VGC, because this thing gets, let me pull up my list here, but for notable moves, it gets Snarl, which is great in VGC. It gets Fake Tears, which we've been seeing a lot more of. It gets Beat Up, so you can activate any sort of justified combos. It gets Foul Play, which I'll talk about why that's good later, but it kills Dragapult faster than Dragapult and kills it in one hit. It gets Parting Shot, which we see a lot of use from Incineroar. It gets Screech. It gets Knockoff, Taunt, Tail Whip, and I keep realizing that it gets Quick Guard. It is like the fastest user with Unburden of Quick Guard, which is kind of cool if you're dealing with, other priority, fake out, stuff like that. It
That's
even
great.
gets,
It can stop any fake out.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this thing has kind of been a little pet project for me. I've wanted to ever since I got it in the draft, I wanted to see how it could compete in real, like, ladder VGC matches. So that is the team that I'm going to show today and the teams that we have been working on. One of the reasons already that I want to use Thievul, not to mention that it gets rid of Dragapult, but Regieleki is everywhere right now. And this is one of the few Pokemon that can outspeed and just kill it. It has to be Dynamaxed, but you can just kill it with a max Quake.
And that's where these special attack EVs are factoring in, yeah?
Yeah. So we'll take a look at my team here. I went through a lot of iterations of this team. I started pairing him with Tapu Bulu. I was running Primarina, Colossal, trying to do the steam engine thing. I tried Tapu Lele. I briefly tried Tapu Koko. But I felt that Tapu Fini ended up being a really good partner to Thievul, and that's kind of where the team was built around. First off, because Tapu Fini really appreciates being able to deal with Regieleki, but also I like having the answer to Amoonguss status with Misty Surge. I like having Misty Terrain in general. But Thievul here, yeah, we have enough speed to outspeed max Regieleki, just in case he's going timid max speed. Not many are doing that. Has 96 special attack, which is enough to kill max HP Regieleki if I am Dynamaxed with Mudshot, and then the rest is just in HP for bulk. Mudshot obviously can also bring down other Pokemon's speed. Mudshot always lowers speed by 1, so I can get some help if Thievul's not maxed just by doing that, or having a Pokemon that protects lower speed again. Foul Play is great, deals with Metagross in a good way, kills most Dragapults if they don't have Sash, unless they're like full special and maxed. And then Snarl is just really great disruption here to help the rest of the team.
This thing has incredible debuffs, and its toolkit is great because it looks like Foul Play kind of patches up a whole lot of its offensive problems outside of, the niche for Regieleki.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you can have so much fun slotting a bunch of moves. Like I was using Tail Whip with the more offensive Bulu team. Tail Whip and a strong Rock Slider would be very cool, because Tail Whip hits both opponents. Screech is obviously really good, but I got kind of turned off from it because it does
85
miss.
is too shaky.
It does miss quite a bit. And you had mentioned, I remember really early on in the Thievul process, using Thief, because as soon as your Misty Seed goes off, you can steal items, and maybe, knockoff is going to be better in those cases because you're doing more damage, but there is something to be said of you taking the item and then being able to use it. Like getting a berry, getting a weakness policy, who knows what you could pull.
I still love the idea, and I think that weakness policy was what prompted it, just because, in draft we're having problems where you're going to come up against a big weakness policy user. How do you stop it if you can't play around it, can't trick it? Well, your Thievul can just take it away and then proceed to chop it down.
Yeah, and potentially, if you have a way to activate it on your team, you can use that weakness policy.
Yeah, weren't you vacuum waving with a Hitmonchan?
Yeah.
And going offensive with this thing at one point?
Yeah, that's another way that you could run Thievul with weakness policy. Any weakness policy unburdened Pokemon is really good. We've seen it with Drifblim. We have seen it with
Hawlucha.
Yeah.
Sceptile. Even in draft.
Yeah. We've seen it. So that is another option. When I was playing on ladder, a few people that were interested in the Thievul, they sent me their team pace, and they're like, hey, I also have Thievul from a draft. Or, hey, I have this team where I'm running it with Comfey and having it be offensive, because not many people expect the offensive Thievul threat, which is great. Yeah, moving on from focus on Thievul, we can talk a little bit about Tapu Fini. This is a Pokemon that I have changed its set so many times. I kind of changed it to Tapu Fini from Primarina because I loved the setting up status without needing to be maxed, or setting up the Misty Terrain without needing to be maxed. and there's just more bulk on the physical side. I also was fed up with trying to make Colossal work, just because it's so easy to see coming, and I'm just over using Colossal, so I decided to ditch the Aquajet user and go with something that could have haze. Initially, I really wanted a haze user because I was seeing so many bulky setup Glastrier. I'm seeing a lot of Regirock that were setting up, even Regirock with like coaching partners that were setting
Whoa.
stuff up. So having haze is just something I really, really love, because I've seen yesterday I fought a guy who was using Swords Dance Glastrier with Follow Me Indeedee, and just having the option to nullify those stats is great. I
Yeah, Hayes
was
is instrumental, and I don't know of many guys that can hang out long enough to pull it off better
Yeah,
than Tapu Fini.
yeah, completely agree. I did have Calm Mind over Blizzard, but I have kind of shifted this to be Blizzard helps deal with Rillaboom, and also in case I'm running into Landorus and a Follow Me Pokemon, I like the option to be able to get rid of that Landorus. I'm running bulky special attack Finny here, and these speed EVs are to be able to outspeed a Garchomp or any base 100s after a -1 or a +1, either way. So this is just enough speed to be able to like get ahead of that Urshifu if I mud shot it, with my Thievul, stuff like that.
Is the Blizzard for actual spread damage or just to hit a higher tier of max move?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I mean, I thought about Icy Wind, but Icy Wind does not do enough damage to get rid of a max HP Rillaboom. To get it every time, I really need to have the max Hailstorm from Blizzard to
Okay.
guarantee the kill on that. I would also try Ice Beam. This is honestly a really recent change from Calm Mind. So I might end up going back. And I do pick I was running Citrus Berry for a while, but I switched to a Guava Berry just because I'm very often knocked down by Rillaboom and others into the range where I can get a little bit more healing from that. Because this Finny lives a max overgrowth from Rillaboom in grassy terrain.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, just because of the,
It's got what? Naturally, it's got 130 defense.
115 defense and
Okay.
130 special defense.
Wow. Okay.
Really, really bulky. And it suffers, it only has 95 base special attack, so it kind of suffers in that way. But this thing is strong enough to max kill Rotom, get plenty of kills on whatever you need to. Okay, hold on. Let's see if there's anything.
You're convincing me to try Finny just for the status protection and haze, because I feel like I've been focusing on frail partners, like fast frail partners for Thievul.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I like the idea of something that can stick around.
me
And
too. I was running weakness policy Finny, and it was doing great work too. I was running it with Comfey with Giga Drain,
mm,
actually, to activate it. There's plenty of other, fun things you could do with that, but I ended up going with a bulkier Tapu Fini, mainly because I really liked having the setup option, and I felt that weakness policy was just not getting its worth. Because Tapu Fini is going to live a lot, but when people are targeting it with those super effective moves, it's going to go down. People want to get rid of it. But I really loved it. I think that it's a really great Pokemon. The one thing that I'm thinking about with Thievul is that, do you want to have the seed that boosts your defense, or do you want to have the seed that boosts your special defense? And I believe that Grassy Seed and Electric Seed are the ones that boost defense,
hmm
whereas Psychic and Misty boost special defense. And I'm on the fence. I really loved my Thievul being able to live pretty much everything, because he already has fine special defense naturally. But with the Misty Seed boost, my Thievul is living some crazy hits. Like, I've had Regielekis target him, and if my Thievul's maxed, it's living, getting 3-hit KO'd by Regieleki at best.
he's very bulky, especially with this or the Psychic Seed that I'm running. And then if he's stacking Snarl debuffs on top of it,
Yeah.
he'll stick around forever around special attackers. So I like that because it kind of complements what his natural set is leaning towards. Um, but I guess with grassy terrain and electric terrain, the defense boost becomes nice because you're suddenly vulnerable to priority.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, then moving on here, we have Registeel. Registeel is a great partner for Tapu Fini. You know, his fighting weakness gets covered by Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini's fire, or also takes fire. Tapu Fini's poison weakness gets covered by Registeel, as well as any sort of steel type neutrality.
yeah, or grass attacks
Or
too.
grass attacks, yeah. So he's really great. I think they have like pretty perfect synergy except for ground and electric, which I try to shore up a little bit later on my team. But I love Registeel. I'm really glad that Clear Body is seeing a lot of use. We're seeing Regirock. I've seen Regice. I've seen a lot of Registeel. I got my butt handed to me my first week of our VGC draft season by a weakness policy Registeel that I just did not give enough credit to. But this thing is very cool with the Iron Defense Body Press set. We have seen that a lot from other Pokemon, in that a good offense really can be a good defense here with Registeel, because he has base 175 or 150 defense, and just starts hitting like a truck. And unlike Regirock, he has fewer weaknesses. He does not get killed by many things, even super effective, especially once he starts getting those boosts. I've seen people run Amnesia on him as
Oh
well
my
to
gosh.
help that, but I'm just running Protect because people want to start hitting this thing if it has one Iron Defense. And then I'm running Flash Cannon, actually, to better
Why?
deal.
What?
So he has the same attack and special attack. Flash Cannon is
Okay.
doing the same amount of damage as Ironhead would, and because I'm running Fake Tears on my Thievul, there are situations where, I want to be hitting from the special side against like certain ghost types too that I'm not going to be able to body press.
I love that. I love that. That makes sense for your team. I think I still might go Ironhead because I'm a flinch maniac,
Yeah.
but that makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
it also, in a pinch, let's say you haven't gotten set up, I need to see the calcs, but I feel like Flash Cannon against a very physically bulky Glastrier might be doing more than just a straight up body press, but I'm not sure. It really just allows you to hit both sides. If someone else is boosting their defenses, like opposing Regirock, you can get the Flash Cannon. You have that option. Next up, Gudra, kind of rounding out this Fairy Steel Dragon core with Tapu Fini Registeel. Gudra is just a very, very recent switch. So I've been running this team a lot with Dragonite. I like the Inner Focus option. I like the Weakness Policy Dragonite that I know that you've been using in your draft.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's not much that can kill multi-scale Dragonite, and you can use it to your advantage, with something like Comfy, which I also had, for just self-procking a weakness policy and going to town. And it's hard to know which is the best dragon for that role, honestly. I've seen other teams do Dragonite, and I think that he's just great because of multi-scale and a crazy move pool, but I like that you went with a specially focused dragon that looks like it has an easier time with certain problems like Landorus.
Yeah, and so looking at my team, we see the Incineroar's hand peeking out there, but my team does not have a great matchup against ground types. So Dragonite was a great resistance to that I originally thought, we'll throw him on there. He's going to round things out really well. He pairs well with Registeel, with his typing, with the rock weakness, the ice weakness, the fairy grows great with Registeel. But Dragonite ended up being kind of almost underwhelming. I really liked the breaking swipe options, but I felt like I was really wanting to use my dragon attacks with Dragonite, and with Misty Terrain, it makes it really awkward because all your dragon attacks are doing less damage. So I ended up switching out for a different dragon that I felt like I might be using more for like the special utility he has. Gudra with amazing 150 special defense. fits that role very well. He takes my Draining Kisses even better, and he's going to live way longer than Dragonite and can kind of hit for more across the spectrum. I like having the Sludge Bomb, the Poison Offense option. I like having Thunderbolt. I like having Ice Beam. I've thought about going mixed with him because Weakness Policy would be cool if you had one physical attack and you went, let's say, Quiet and had a Power Whip on there to deal with Tapu Fini. There's a lot of options. You can have Sap Sipper is great because you are not going to be, again, dealing with Rillaboom, Amoonguss, other grass types you can switch into. And I found that in trying to switch in my Dragonite, he just didn't have the type that has as many resistances. Like, Dragon Flying is just not as good defensively as Pure Dragon. And Goodra is something that I can just bring in and kind of throw there to take electric attacks for my Tapu Fini, stuff like that. So I want to experiment more with Goodra. I think that there's a little bit more I could do. I might end up switching. I tried Garchomp a little bit. I know you have been trying Haxorus, or thinking about trying Haxorus.
Yeah, I like the Unnerve, but honestly, Goodra seems to be a great fit with all the Intimidators running around. I love the immunity to Spore and Sleep Powder. I think that my team is looking for something like that. And his move pool is insane. Like, both he and Thievul have a real hard time picking their 4 moves, but I could see you going a Fire move on this.
Yeah.
And he's just a fantastic sponge. I think he's a good fit for this and kind of just an overlooked Pokemon, not a bad Pokemon.
Yeah, Comfey.
Comfey, my most valuable player in our recent draft by a long shot.
Yeah, I feel like ever since Urshifu has been released, we've been on the Comfey hype train because we were thinking, like, how the heck do you just stop Urshifu? Back when we saw its stats, back when we knew just how powerful it was. I forget whatever online tournament we were doing with our friends at that time, but we both kind of decided that Priority Fairy was going to be the answer for this single strike Urshifu. And I think that might have been in a singles tournament that we were trying to make this Comfey work. But it's proven itself to become very popular, not just in our circle of friends, but everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of Comfey online. This thing gets Triage, which makes any healing move +3 priority, which is, matching Fake Out. It's beating out Rage Powder. It's beating out Follow Me. So it can activate your weakness policies very well. It gets Ally Switch, always useful. It also gets a Heal Pulse variety called Floral Healing, which will have that +3 priority. So, you can throw out a little bit of health to your opponents if you want. Comfey's kind of great in that it has the Ally Switch annoyance, and it's also a really good support Pokemon. Like, people want to get rid of this thing, but you can be Ally Switching. It's not one of those support Pokemon that you can just leave because it's going to be healing its friend as well. As, I use it for Trick Room setup because my team is kind of in the middle here where it's faster than Trick Roomers, but slower than fast Pokemon. And I also do have Incineroar, who has been, fully dedicated to Brave, Zero Speed. And him being slower than opposing Porygon in Trick Room has been very helpful. Stuff like that. I can also reverse Trick Room with Comfey as well, which I often do if I see, a very obvious Trick Room lead. Sometimes I'll just bring Comfey and an attacker, attack while assuming they're going to set up Trick Room, so I immediately switch it back.
Yeah, it's forgotten as a Trick Roomer, and I think that's a great power that it has. The problem is this thing, I feel like, is becoming more and more of a target, and I find myself wanting to run Protect on it. I think I always brought either a Babiri Berry or a Kebia Berry just to keep it from getting, one-shot by Venusaur or Celesteela.
Yeah, and I think that I might switch to a berry. I have the Mental Herb because I've been taunted one time running this team with Comfey, And so since then, I thought, well, why not have a mental herb? I'm pretty bulky anyway, but I do think that probably running the poison or steel resist berry would help. And then, last but not least, we have Incineroar, one of the kings of VGC. His usage is still up there. He's so good. He has Intimidate. He has Fake Out. He has a bunch of options. I really wanted a good fire type. I'm kind of doubling up on dark types here, but it's not a huge problem for me because I have the strong fairy options as well to deal with the bug, deal with the fighting. I'm running an Assault Vest Incineroar here because I wanted just even a little bit more bulk on my team, and since I was going kind of in a Trick Room direction, I thought, why not, let this guy just hang around, and he does. With a lot of HP, that attack is just to ensure the kill on Dragapults with Darkest Lariat and on Rillabooms with Flare Blitz. Make sure that I am getting the kills that I need to, and the rest I'm throwing in Special Defense because that, coupled with Intimidate, is just making him stick around a long time, especially with Snarl. I've gotten in matches against Tapu Finis where if I can get enough Snarls in before they start targeting me, I'm winning out, funnily enough, just because this thing is crazy bulky. I would consider maybe going with Close Combat, Drain Punch, U-Turn. I don't use Snarl that much. I don't use Darkest Lariat that much because some of the things that I'm using Darkest Lariat against are already taken care of by Thievul's Foul Play. So I would like to mess around a little bit more, but my Incineroar has felt so solid that I don't even want to tamper with it at this point.
Yeah, I could see maybe U-turn being nice just for
Mm-hmm.
repeat intimidates and
Yeah.
repositioning, but I like Assault Vest Incineroar too because I think that too often he doesn't get credit as an attacker, and this kind of mixes the support role with something that's just always dishing damage
Yeah.
or influence through Snarl.
Yeah, and I just feel, I don't know, I feel so underwhelmed by Parting Shot, especially as Clear Body is becoming more and more popular. We are
Hmm.
seeing Metagross, other users of Clear Body, White Smoke, whatever. I'm seeing Assault Vest, White Smoke, Torkoal, the other day. Everybody's trying these things out, and so stat dropping, while still in this kit, is maybe not, at the forefront of what this Incineroar is doing. He's also dishing it out and being just a solidly bulky guy.
I love the look of this team. You're making me feel like I'm carrying a glass cannon around and that the defensive synergy here is really nice.
Yeah, I've been doing all right with it. Obviously, I have the Landorus issue, which I just need to make sure that I have one of my guys that can deal with it. But honestly, Tapu Fini does just fine. Gudra does just fine. And in certain instances, if I get the Intimidates right, Incineroar will be able to live and help deal with that. But besides that, I haven't had too many things that I want to change. Maybe Comfey and then the dragon swapping out. We'll see what I end up. But Gudra is a fun Pokemon to use, and I'd love to give him a try. I'd love to give out Latios and Latias a try because they are also in that support option. I'm thinking like if we had two Heal Pulse users, Heal Pulse slash Floral Healing, this team could be even more defensive and frustrating for the opponents to break through.
Yeah, and a Latios Latias would give you a ground
Yeah,
immunity. That might be nice.
yeah, and I don't know. I've thought about using them. There are other things you can do. You could simple beam your Registeel to get a +4 defense from Iron Defense.
Whoa.
That with Calm Mind Tapu Fini could also be really cool. There's a lot of fun tools that the Latios and Latias pair get. They get Tailwind, you know. But
And I think you can afford to run them because you have um, Finny and then these dark Pokemon covering the ghost and dark attacks that'll be thrown at
yeah,
your laddie. So I think the room and the infrastructure is there for them.
yeah, yeah. But that's what I've been playing around with. I am going to start, I'm going to build this team on cartridge, and I'm going to see how it does on the actual in-game ladder, which I know is a totally different beast than Pokemon Showdown. But I hope you guys look forward to that. That's going to be something that we try to put out shortly after this video, and we can see how that team or whatever iteration of this team ends up faring. I'll also have the PokePaste down in the description for anybody that's interested in seeing how the team works or even piloting it themselves. Thanks, guys, for tuning in and checking out the Thievul brainstorm, and we'll hopefully get some ladder matches and more team building videos out soon.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.